Yeah.
Yay.
So Jet Reports is a product that we've certainly gone big on. I think there's very few of the new nav sites that we roll out that we don't include Jet as part of the proposal. And as Paul goes through the product, I think you get a good idea why that is. So over to you, Paul. Without further ado.
So how many of you own Jet today? Jet Express, Jet Essentials, Jet, any of those Jet products? Okay, so about half. And how many of you have nav today? I was curious about that. Okay, so about the same percent. Okay, so basically the people that have Jet also happen to have nav. All right. So what we're going to take a look at, we're going to do a quick product overview. This is by no means an in-depth demo. This is very much to just kind of give you guys an idea of what the various solutions can do. I'm also aware that I'm the person that's holding you up from getting to lunch. So I'll try and get over this as quick as I can. We'll talk about a little bit about visualizations. So we'll talk about Power BI and Jet Mobile. Steve had kind of thrown down the gauntlet a little and said to the ISVs, you know, what's your relevance in the fact that Microsoft is coming out with all this different features in the product. So I'll talk a little bit about that. And then I'm also going to talk about the roadmap and where we're going with our product and how we're getting ready for the cloud-first, business-first world. So with that, Jet Reports today, we have over 10,000 customers. It is working, right? People are, okay, good. We have over 10,000 customers in over 80 different countries. Within the UK itself, we have over 1,000 customers. And those are all paid customers. And over 900 of them are using Nav. So quite a few customers ranging from small organizations that, you know, a couple million annual turnover to, we have one company that their annual turnover is 250 billion pounds sterling per year. So wide range, a lot of different companies use it in a lot of different ways. We think our customer service is pretty good. If you ever have a different experience with that, please let us know. We're always trying to improve it and change it. And of course, as customers, you have access to our 24-hour support site and our knowledge base along with our community site. All right, so the first product I want to talk about real quick is Jet Express for Word. You do have to have NAV 2015 or later to use this. I'm not going to get into the detail what it does, but in essence, it allows you to more easily alter documents using Word. So purchase orders, sales orders, those kind of documents that you might have in NAV. It's free of charge, and it was something that Microsoft came to us at the tail end of releasing NAV 2015 and said, hey, will you guys do this for us? And so we built it for them, and it's been pretty successful. Quite a few people have downloaded and used it. The next product I want to talk about is Jet Express. If you want to download or use this, just go to your favorite search engine, Bing, right? And type in Jet Reports Express. It will take you to the Jet Express website. And from the Jet Express website, you can then go and you can look at the videos for Word, the videos for Nav, and the different pieces if you're interested in doing that. So next we're going to talk about Jet Express for Excel. Jet Express for Excel was released for Nav 2009 and later. So if you're on Nav 2009 and later versions, you have access to this free of charge. It comes with about 40 pre-made reports and templates. It's pretty quick and easy to get up and running. If you don't have it and you already have Nav 2009, download, give it a try. There's some tutorials and some different things online to help you through the process. The Jet Express product pulls information from Excel and Nav, pulls information from Nav in real time, gives you the ability to use the security features of Nav itself, as well as you can easily build GL-based reports and templates, and use the table builder when you want to access information outside of the GL. What you don't get, it's not full operational reporting, it's not a business intelligence or analytics tool, and it lacks scheduling and automation. Typically, and to be frank, the Express product is a really good product. We have a lot of customers that stay on it, they use it, they're very, very happy with it. Where people start getting hung up is when they have advanced needs around reporting. So complex dimension analysis. So if you're using additional dimensions above the standard dimensions in nav, so global 1 and global 2 plus analysis views. Those are typically when we start getting customers that want to look at Jet Essentials or our other products. All right, so Jet Essentials, you get everything that you get with the Express product. In addition, you can also consolidate information from multiple companies, multiple databases, multiple data sources. It doesn't have to be nav. If you're moving off Sage Line 50, for example, into nav, and you want to still have access to your Sage Line 50 data, you can use Jet to pull information from both data sources. It's not a problem. We've got the scheduler up here, so we can schedule reports to be sent via email, different things. And then we also have the ability to drill down along with advanced filtering. So let's real quick go take a look at a Jet report. And these are some of the Jet reports that come out of the box with Jet. Now, you'll notice that some of the reports and dashboards have the word enterprise in front of them. Those do require the enterprise product. The ones that don't are Jet Essentials, and then we have a separate one which is specific to Jet Express. And you can see that these different dashboards and reports, they cover a wide variety of areas, everything from vendor information to items and inventory turn as we kind of continue on. And these do work out of the box, which is nice. As we go on, we start getting into the financial reports, so P&Ls, company overviews, income statements. And as we continue towards the back, there's one particular report that I'm looking for, and it happens to be this one right here. So this is a financial analysis report, and this is just looking at the information from the GL. So if I was a Jet Reports viewer, so in Jet Reports there's two types of users. It's called the Jet Reports viewer and a Jet Reports designer. I just come in here, I click the refresh button as a Jet Reports viewer. I can change any options that have been provided to me. So you'll notice that I'm not having to use Excel lookups. I'm not having to do weird things in Excel to get the filters to work. All I do is I come in here, I click report, hit the report options, I can click the lookup button, and the lookup is actually going to go back into nav and look up those values from nav, which can be great if my database is just a little faster. There we go. So we can see the various global dimension 1, so it happens to be department. So we can see those, we can filter on them. You can use all the filters that you have in nav. We click run. Jet's going to look at my security permissions in nav. If I don't have permissions to see it in nav, I can't see it with Jet, and boom, everything's been updated, right? So now we've got everything for January, February, and March instead of April, May, and June. If you today have a report that is key in your organization, and a lot of our customers do, and it's in Excel, and you're spending time moving information around or doing data dumps, you can automate it down to a single click. We've done it for a lot of customers across time, and I've had quite a few customers come up to me, particularly in this year, and they've said to me, Jet Reports has saved my business. And it's because of reports like this that, not quite like this, but far more elaborate, that they're able to get the information, weekly or daily versus where historically they've had to wait a week, or it's been an end of month exercise, or whatever it may be. So if you have a report that seems like that, definitely talk to Turnkey and schedule a demo, and we can kind of dive into the details. But continuing on, if you do have any questions about the numbers, we can always click the drill down, and the drill down is going to go, and it will open up nav for us. And then what we have inside of nav are the actual entries that make up that particular number. So one of the problems that a lot of our customers have with Excel, of course, is when did you last run the report? When did you last get the the update? What's going on with that information, and how current is it? And it can lead to a lot of issues, particularly around management reports, end of month, and a quarter, things like that. So having that drill down, you can always drill down on the number, look at what makes up that number in nav, and make sure that you always have the correct data. So just some further examples of formatting layout, income statement, looking at the sales department, trend results, current month, year to date, actual budget and variance information, using some charting within within Excel for department income statement graphics, and lastly a chart showing our changes in assets and current liabilities. We can then go, of course, and say schedule, click scheduler, and now we can say, how often do we want that report sent? So maybe it's a weekly report, right? Schedule, how often we want it run. We want it run weekly. We want it run, every Sunday, so I can read it on my way in on the train. We're going to send via email, paulh@jetreports.com. We can use exception reporting if we want to use Excel named ranges. So if we want to say, if a customer's credit limit is within X, do this. We can do those different pieces. Output as a JET workbook, as a values only, as a web page, or as a PDF. So the scheduler is actually something in 2016 that we're going to do quite a bit of work on, but that is the scheduler as it exists today. So I'm not going to stop and take the time for questions today, but if you want to come grab me after the presentation, have a chat, more than happy to do that. I'll be in the room next door, so stop by and ask. So the last product, the last piece that we're going to look at is the Jet Enterprise product. And a lot of customers get to Enterprise over time. So what happens is they have a Jet Essentials report, it's been running great, there's more and more data in the system over time, it starts slowing down, and they go, what can we do to make it faster? So Enterprise becomes an option in that way. There might be some advanced and complex calculations that you want, there might be KPIs that you want on a running basis. There's a lot more flexibility when we start talking about the Enterprise product in supporting an organization's metrics. So what we get with Enterprise, for starters, is that it is a separate data source from Nav. So it has its own separate SQL database, and then it's also using what's called OLAP cubes, or analysis services. Not going to get into horrible detail about either one, but it's there. You can access information across large and vast volumes of data. So one of our customers, it's a company called David's Bridal. David's Bridal, they actually just recently opened up a shop in London. They are a NYSE listed company. They have over 200 locations in North America, and weddings these days, you buy a lot of stuff. So their database for Enterprise grows at 100 gigs a month. It's currently in excess of 2 terabytes worth of data. And so as your data volumes increase and as you're pulling information from additional data sources, Enterprise can definitely support you up through the tiers into things like big data if you choose to go that way. It's very fast, it's easy to use. A lot of what people will be doing with Jet Enterprise is OLAP pivots. Out of the box, you get finance, purchasing, inventory, AP, AR, production, and sales. So as a business user, if I have a question about one of these areas, all I do is I go and I click on that area. So it really simplifies what people need to know in order to get the information that they want. The other nice thing is that you don't have to be a Nav user to access this information. So that has its pluses and it has its minuses. Minuses being you have to keep a separate set of SQL permissions. Well, not SQL permissions, but it's using Active Directory. And plus side is they don't have to be a Nav in order to get the information, which is great. So self-service, the Enterprise product, we have a 4-hour class to teach administrators how to administrate. So add users, remove users, update the existing cubes, change information in the data warehouse. We can do that in 4 hours. That's very different from, well, we have a jobs module in Nav and we need to build that, which is, how do you build a cube from scratch? And that is a 4-day class. Enterprise installs in about an hour. So it's very, very quick time to value as far as that's concerned. And in terms of how fast we can build cubes and do these different pieces, what we can do in one day takes someone who doesn't have enterprise 5. We've had 3 customers in the last 6 months question that, and they went and they had us do the work, and then they had an outside consulting firm do the work, and all 3 times it was verified as that particular ratio. So KPIs, trending metrics, it's not a problem with enterprise. Now, what we're doing with the data, and I'm not going to go into, again, too horrible a detail here, but basically is what we're doing is we're taking whatever data sources you have, so your current nav, if you're upgrading from nav 2009 or nav 1.3 or nav 2.6, whatever it might be, we can take the information from your current nav system, or if you're migrating from a Sage product to nav or whatever it may be, we can pull that information in. We get the information sorted into the data warehouse just by pulling the information in the pieces that we need and that you need for reporting purposes. So we get it sorted by relevant data, right? Organized by subjects. We can cleanse it. We can create unique keys so we can connect the data together. So what that means is that your information from your legacy system will connect to your new system so that you've got one view of the data across time. And you didn't have to necessarily import all of that data into your new nav system. So no longer do you have to sit there and go, well, you know, we're going to start nav, and do we get rid of that data? Well, I kind of like accessing it. You don't have to do that. We can actually just pull it all together for you using Jet Enterprise, which is great. We can also now expose, so with nav 2016 and nav 2015, we can expose information from the data warehouse into nav as well. So then we cube the information. The advantage to cubing is that it's just fast, so the information is returned very quickly. And what you end up with is taking information that's fairly complex and simplifying it so people can use it. Okay, so the whole story about Power BI, right? So how many of you have used Power BI so far? Gone and downloaded it, so there's like 3 people in the room, 4 people in the room. Okay, so one of the things that we haven't really talked about the content pack. So in nav 2016, and if you're using nav 2012 and later, Steve had alluded that if you go to the Power BI site, you will find a nav content pack button for Power BI, right? So you click it and it connects. Here's the thing. If you're not in Azure, it doesn't work. So your system has to sit in Azure in order for that content pack to work. And we at Jet are big fans of Power BI. Use it, it's great, it's a beautiful front end, but it's complex in a lot of different ways. And if you go and you start digging into it and you start looking on the forums, and there's all these things like, well, you know, you can really only update your information every 2 to 3 days, and it kind of goes on and on and on, and there's lots of little workarounds and lots of little things. So our current take on Power BI is we love it. It's about 2 years away from being ready for mainstream use. There are some, you know, cases where you can use it for smaller things, but it's just not quite there yet. Where we fit in with Power BI is that whole story that I was just talking to you about, the complex and simplifying it and all those pieces. That is what we do very well, and that is what the Jet Enterprise solution does, and we deliver in an hour. Right? So in an hour, you've got your data exactly the way that you need it, ready to consume with whatever front end you want. So whether that's Tableau, Click, Power BI, you want to use Jet, Jet Mobile, whatever it is, you can use. And this is usually what really trips up a lot of people when they're choosing a product, because is what inevitably happens is an MD or a sales director or someone sees this great dashboard and they go, yeah, I really, really want that. And they don't realize all of the work that has to happen behind it in order to get it to that point. So they make a decision And it is an emotional decision, and we've all made emotional decisions at some point in our life. And so that is a thing that we repeatedly see happening with with a lot of the other products that are out there today. So we can help in, again, getting that data ready for consumption in Power BI or wherever it may be. So visualizations, so real quick, just because why not? Power BI, this is what it looks like with Jet Enterprise data. So the nice thing is what we're doing with the enterprise process is that we're going and we're pulling information from not just one table in Nav, but we're pulling information from about 7 different tables together. We're aggregating it. We're getting exactly how it needs to be seen and looked and how people want to see it. And so very quickly we can go through and we can actually create something that's meaningful and useful. So we're using the Power BI maps, and as I'm clicking on the maps, you can see that the various item categories, right? So we're looking at profit and sales by different item categories, are updating and changing, and we can go and we can filter on those, so we can say, just show us for 2016 or 2017. If I had a bit more time, if I had about 5 more minutes today, I'd actually build this out for you, and you can see exactly how it's done. Again, if you're interested in any of this, talk to your Turnkey representative, and we can arrange something a little more formal to kind of go through the pieces in detail. In addition to Power BI, we also have what's called Jet Mobile. Oops, it's actually the dashboard builder is what I want. And the dashboard builder, it's our take on a very simple, easy to use. Again, this installs, it's up and running in all of about an hour. So, Enterprise installs in an hour. This installs in about another hour. So in 2 hours, you've got tools that are ready to go and consume the information from Nav using Jet Enterprise. And as all we do is we just drag and drop what we want. So I can grab the salesperson, right? Because we're going to look at some sales information. And I want to look at my salespeople over time. So I'm going to grab the date. And I want to look at profitability. And when I grab that profitability piece, what I'm grabbing is a already defined definition of profit. So what that means to users in the organization is that they don't have to understand how all your costing structure works within the business and works within Nav. And you have to, when you're doing the cost, there's this extended cost because of this, this, and this, and then there's commissions, and right? They don't have to understand all those pieces. As all they have to do is just drag and drop what they want, and they get to see that information. So now we can sit here and we can see, right, my profitability by salesperson across time. And again, if I had a little more time, right, we can go and we can start adding different slicers for salespeople and dates and time, and right, we can build out data grids. So is all the data grids going to go, and it's going to show me is items. So show me the item detail, right? So here are all of my items that are part of this information over here to the left, and here's our profitability on those items. And then in addition to that, I want to rank that highest to lowest. So there's our most profitable item, and there's our least profitable item. And then I also want to go and I want to grab shipped quantity, right? So we can look at shipped quantity, and depending on how you're using Nav and the processes in Nav and the documents, maybe you're using sales orders. So maybe there's a promised quantity versus a shipped quantity in those different pieces. So we can go and we can build all those things into Enterprise very easily and simply, and we've done it quite often. So now we can go and we can slice on the information. We can, let's remove the salesperson, right? We can go and we can add different themes. We can share this information using Active Directory. And then this becomes available to us via any device that runs a web browser. So iPads, Windows phones, Surfaces, anything you can imagine. Any web browser, you have it. You click the publish button, and it's off and running. So that's a bit about Jet Mobile and Power BI, and as far as data visualizations and all those pieces. Again, we can get into more detail about that if you're interested. Lastly, I wanted to talk to you about our roadmap. And I'm not going to talk about, for time's sake, everything from 2015 and back. It's more about what we're doing going forward. So we've seen the adoption of Office 365 quite first-handed. There's a lot of customers today that are in the enterprise space that are using O365. And so we constantly have had a request for how is Jet going to work and integrate with this. And so I can show you that today. A better reporting and publishing and scheduling, so that's coming in 2016. Additional enhancements to our mobile product. And then we're also looking at doing a financial budgeting, forecasting, and planning product as well. So some different things to look out for. And then in 2017, we have cloud-based reporting and BI, which that just means you're no longer using your own servers to run your reporting in BI. So let's go take a look at, now I could do this with slides, but I actually do have access to our demo environment for this. So I'm going to go out to Azure, and so again, if your systems are in Azure, you can do this today with Jet. And what I meant is that you can implement Jet in Azure. So this is Nimbus. And the idea behind Nimbus is that users really like the experience of creating a Jet report inside of Excel. You get all the power of Excel, it's all there. But Excel is not very portable today, for at least how we use it. And so what Nimbus does is it resolves that issue. So Nimbus is our basically our portal to all of our different Jet reports. So as a Jet 2016 user, you're going to come into the portal and you will see the reports that are assigned to you. You'll probably have a tab for O365 up here. You'll have another tab for Nav, right, inside of your browser. And then you can run all of the reports that you want. The design experience, you're still using Excel, you're still doing all that, and all you're doing is you're just publishing the report to our portal. So for those users in the room that already have Jet and have spent a lot of time building those Jet reports, what does the upgrade story look like? Right? Do I have to rebuild everything from scratch? Well, we at Jet try and take as little steps as possible for our existing customers to be able to work with newer versions of our product. And the portal is no different. So right now you can see that I don't have this income statement up on the portal. So I'll show you really fast what the upgrade process is going to look like. So we put any of our reports into design mode. So once we are in design, we're going to come over here to Jet. All right, come on, design mode. Oh, Azure. Almost there. Okay, so now we're going to come over to Jet, and all we do is we click the publish button. That's it. It's going to go through a process here. And once it's done, it will say that it has been published to Nimbus. And now if we go over and into Nimbus, and I just refresh the site, you'll see that that income statement is now going to appear. It's never been run. So all I have to do is click it, click the run button. When I click run, we're going to get our options. So we're going to change this from month to recorder. We're going to click Run Report. Nimbus is going to go and run. There are a lot of advantages to how this architecture is actually working with Nav, and one of those advantages is increased speed. So expect that your existing Jet reports today will actually run faster in Jet 2016. So we can click Jet 2016, we say open, and when we click open, we're no longer using the local instance. No! You gotta be kidding me. Okay, actually I don't know that password. So is what ends up happening, thank goodness, I'm a sales guy who's done this before. So this is the net result, is that you're going to have the report sitting inside of Excel Online. So now no matter where you are, you'll be able to run your Jet reports. So that means that if you have your mobile phone, you'll be able to run a Jet report from your mobile phone. If you are using a tablet, if you are using, right, name your device, you are going to now be able to run a Jet report from wherever you are and have that information available to you as you need it. So that's a bit about what we're doing in the future. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, come stop by. I love hearing from our users and how they're using Jet and how we can make the product better. So your feedback is always appreciated. And with that, I think I might have finished slightly early.
No, you found the time, Paul.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
All right.